Hello folks and welcome to day 21 of the November 2-hour speed material challenge. I've got hiccups already. This is going great. Thank you for coming along. It's always nice to see you guys. Today is day 21, which I said, which is architecture. So that should be a pretty interesting one to do. I'm not exactly certain what I'm going to do yet, so I'm quickly getting something together now. I had an idea. I saw something that I like the look of. So I'm just quickly going to grab some reference for the thing that I'm looking for, which is somewhere around here. I saw it just recently. Where are you? I get different results on my phone. Typical, isn't it? Anyway. Yes, sorry. I'll let you guys see what I'm actually doing. That's always helpful, isn't it? There we go. Oh, so yeah, day 21. So we're in a whole new category now. Let me just show you on the old reference thing. So you see day 21 is the first in the humanities section, our second to last segment. So architecture is what we're aiming for. Look at all these things we've done so far. It's crazy. But yeah, so let's see, I got architecture. I just typed in architecture and then I got this interesting result. I don't know if you can see it on my phone, but I'm trying to get that on my reference image because that's what I want to do. I spent ages trying to decide what I was going to do, and I think that's what I want to do. So let me just find it. It's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. It's just a blocky building with some windows. I thought it's going to be straightforward enough for us to actually be able to do, hopefully, because 2 hours is a deceptively short amount of time. People think it's ages. It's really not. Like, for example, how many times have you watched a film and it feels like you've only just gotten to the building? Oh, there it is. Yeah. That's what I was looking for, I think. No, it wasn't. That's not what I was looking for. Does that lead to the one I was looking at? I've lost the one I was looking at now. Yeah, these recommended things here, they're different on my phone. This is the one I want. There it is. There's the fella. Yeah, so I want something like this, basically. We want something blocky with windows on it. Just fairly straightforward, but will be deceptively difficult, I think. So let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on. We might be able to pull something off. Even if it's just a pattern sort of influenced by this, because I like how we've got this one section that repeats. And so yeah, we'll try and get something like that going. Obviously, we're not going to get the insides. Come on now. We only have 2 hours. But yeah, let's go for something like that, I think. There's a bit of a slightly different example of like a cage on parts of it. But yeah, we can do something along those lines, I reckon. Or I reckon we can do something with that. So pop us into Substance Designer and reset my clock. Boom. 2 hours starts now, folks. So let's do this. Hopefully my mic sounds okay. Actually, let me go quickly check my mic. Hang on a second. I changed to the wrong window. God, here comes all 4,000 of my Firefox tabs. Where are they going? Oh god, it's all going Pete Tong. Firefox just demolishes my CPU. Okay, we're good? We're still live? Okay. Right, so let's go check the stream. Like I said, I want to see if my mic sounds okay. That's not me. La 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 la, that's not me.
Whoa.
Okay. So check this down. Come on, audio. This down. Come on, audio. So, do I sound crackly at all, Chris? How do I sound? So, do I sound crackly at all, Chris? How do I sound? No, we sound good. Alright, nice. Do I sound crackly? That was a surreal moment, wasn't it, folks? Alright, so anyway, back to what we were doing. Back to the good stuff. So, we want to establish our original shape. Let's get this shape. We're going to get this square kind of boxed off, if you pardon the pun. So let's try and get that together now. So, let's start with the shape. We might be able to generate this shape with a tile generator. Probably not because, tile random, sorry. Probably not because, as the name suggests, it is random. But you do get some control over it, and we could look out. If we look out, that'll make it a lot quicker. Let's see, 3. We're at 3 wide by 2 tall. Okay, that gives us the kind of thing we want, size-wise. And then we can try and manipulate that to be what we want it to be. So, split mode. None. So it's just 3 by 3. Okay, good. And then we could maybe adjust. No, actually, it's not going to work because it's going to be too random. We want random, but not that random. So yeah, let's get rid of that idea. Bye, idea. Okay, so we're going to just get the shapes. We're going to manually put them together. It's not ideal, but it'll do for now. Now, let me just think. We could probably do this with a cheeky little grid. Yeah, let's get a checker pattern. It's a bit of an unorthodox way of doing this, but let's just find out if this works. Wait, brain's having a moment. Let's go. I'm jumping all about the place already. 3 minutes in, folks, and I'm already like, what? Alright, so we're going to stick with squares. We're going to go 3 by 2. I'm going to give it a full scale, almost. Because 1 would just fully block it out, which we don't want, so... Gives it an edge if we go 0.99. It's always annoying that the width is always smaller than the height gap. So to fix that, we can go to scale, which was up here, and size X. We just set that to 0.99, 0.995. Okay, there we go. That now relatively matches up. So it's a bit of a pain. You shouldn't have to do that, but you do. So that's how it is. Now we can adjust the position of this. Should we have... Yeah, I'm going to use a different one again, aren't I? Tile generator. My brain's going to wake up some point soon. Don't worry, folks. We're going to get there. You just got to experiment sometimes to get the right result. And it's always the last thing you think of. Otherwise, why would you keep going if you figured it out? So the problem here, you can't control the scale individually, so I can't get the specific gap that I got here, but I can control the middle position. So what I can do, I'm just basically trying to save myself a couple of nodes, which ultimately doesn't really matter that much. So let's stick with this, and instead of doing 3 by 2, we'll do 3 by 1, and then we'll split the middles manually ourselves to control where we want the lines to be. That sound okay to you guys? Just gotta mute and watch a second. Okay. Right, so yeah, let's go get this sorted. So we want to get... Let's get this shape, right? Little idea for us. Get this shape, set the scale to 0.9. Actually, set the scale to full so that it tiles horizontally. And then if we give it roughly the size we want for that gap part, something like that, then we can go to edge detect, turn off roundness, and we can basically mask this off where we want it to be. So blend here. So multiply this on top. Or min darken, it's up to you, it's just black, it doesn't really matter. And let's change the width of the edge so that it matches a bit better. Okay, and now we can just mask out the middle part of this middle bit that we don't want. And that should help, I think. It'll give us the basis for what we're after. I got my first platinum trophy on the PlayStation before, on the PS5. I've got platinum trophies. I mean, it's the first one on the PS5. The lovely wife got one on the Astrobot game, and I couldn't let that be the case, so I had to get one as well. It's a great little game. I really like it. It's so fun. Even the speedrun parts are fun, and I'm not normally a fan of that kind of gameplay, but I enjoyed it. So I hope to get some more trophies like that in the future. Alright, subtract. No. Add. That's the one. We basically just want to go in and we want to cut out that part. Just the like of that. That wasn't a bad guess for the size, was it? It was just off the dome. There we go. Now we've got the shape that we want. Almost. We need to move this down. This is one of the plus sides of using a box to generate 2 lines, is that you get to move 2 things at once. And that line thickness is too thick again. I thought I adjusted that. Actually, it seems to match there, but not there. Is that just my eyes? Might just be my eyes. Okay, so we've got the inside shape. Let's make the frame part. Now, we're not going to get super specific, because on this one, the frame, if there's 2 together, actually matches. Wait, actually, we can do that. Yeah, why not? Why not, eh? We can do that. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to get a blend. Now we're just going to work in standard sort of heights for this, and then we're going to adjust it overall later. Excuse me. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I ate risotto just before doing this. I made the HelloFresh risotto, and it's super tasty, but I get really sleepy after eating like a hearty meal, and it's quite hearty because it's just rice and bacon bits and rocket, and I think I've just got some pepper in my eye or something, and it stings. Ow. Oh, it's onion. I remember now. Yeah, whenever I cut onions, for some reason, like droplets seem to just stay on my eyelashes, and so if I yawn or whatever, it goes into my eyes. It really stings, and I can't see properly right now. Oh, dude, not good. Not good at all. This is riveting content, isn't it? Sorry, folks. Alright, let's try and get back to this. Let's get a frame going. Ow. Oh, okay. Nope. I thought it was okay. It wasn't. Alright, shape. So we are going to do this as separate shapes. It's a bit awkward. We could just use a box and set it to edge detect, but we want to... we're going to have the top bar so that it goes all the way across, and then we're going to have the other 3 as individuals that actually cut off, because if you look, when there's 2 side by side, the bottom isn't connected. This one's better. See, the bottom splits, but the top doesn't. So we'll have the top going as 1 bar, and the other 3 will split. So we can do that. Ow. Okay, so let's do this way. Set the tile horizontally. And we'll set it to subtract because it's then gonna... Ow! It's going to pull the shape out. You know, I'll be back in a sec, folks. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I can see now. Right, so where were we? We've got the bar that we're going to use for the top part. Let's scale it up a little bit with this. Something like that should do the trick, and then we're just going to move it where we want it to be. Let's check it's actually at the top. Yep. Oh yeah, we already had a bit of an edge going on with the shape anyway. Can we get rid of that edge? Actually, no, we want that edge. Yeah, sorry, what am I talking about? I just want to shrink all this down as a whole. Somewhere around there. And we don't want it to tile. Yeah, look at me with no crackly audio. What's going on? I already tested it, so we should be okay. I went and listened to my own stream and some sort of weird relay session just to see if I could actually hear myself. And I could, so bonus for me. Alright, so yeah, we're going to get this frame. I'm going to put it up the top part here. I'm going to actually colour it a little bit because I can't see where it is. So I'm going to just reduce the strength of the subtract. Didn't really help at all, did it? Right, you know what? We're going to go to min darken. No, we're not. Ah, come on. Brain, function for me. Just for once. Just have a little go. Have a go. See if you like it. Right, so I'm actually going to try and add a little bit of a bevel into this now. That should help us out. Just for visualizing at least. Angular. Come on, mouse. There we go. Okay, tiny bit of a bevel on it. So that's a max lighten. And we can just see where that goes now. Okay, and then we'll just duplicate that round with a transform and we'll put it in the 3 different locations. Like I said, we could have done this a different way, but this is probably the way that's going to give us the most control over it. Not that we need control over it, it's a really simple shape. It's just, you know, we're trying to think about the time constraints. The time constraint always comes to bite me in the backside, so rather than just assuming it'll be fine, I'd rather be careful. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to shorten it so that it stops here where this other one ends. And we don't want any tiling on this one. Okay, something like that will do. And that's going all the way down there, and then we're going to just do the same again. Blend. I could just duplicate the notes, couldn't I? Max lighten. Duplicate this. Actually, I'm not going to duplicate that because I want to cleanly rotate it. Whoops. So I'm going to get this, plug it in here, rotate it 90 degrees. What is going on? Oh, right, yeah. Idiot. That's me. Try that one again. Rotate 90 degrees. Okay, and then this time we want it to go all the way to the left and then crop in on the right here. So that's what we're going to do. I wish you could see what you're doing further down. Again, no tiling on this piece. I feel like today's is going to be an interesting one. I'm not overly confident in the idea because it's relatively simple, but at the same time, let's just give it a go. Have a bit of fun with it. If I'm telling you the truth, I want to go play Watch Dogs. But I can do that after the stream if I'm good, I guess. Let's just move it over a little bit more. I so wish I could see what was going on further down. I've been able to move the pivot point or something. Okay, that's fine. And then the last one, we'll do the same thing again. Plug you there. Get you, and we will rotate you that way. Okay, now theoretically that should be the shape relatively sorted out. We want to shorten the top of that though. Okay, so I just realised I've not been saying anything for a while. I don't always need to say stuff, do I? Yeah, okay, so now we've got the pieces on the sides. It doesn't look good, but we'll fix that as we go along. And that one's completely disappeared. Awesome. Oh, right. Okay, I've goofed. Wait, where the hell's that gone? Alright, anyway. That should be that part done. So let's just get this onto a node. Let's get it looking at what we can see. What am I saying? Let's get it on the output so we can see what it's doing so far. Okay, give it 20. That's a bit strong, but we can keep it like that for now, I guess. Where's my... There it is. Okay, so we've got the shape that we're looking for, kind of, almost. Let's get a parallax going on. Just a little bit of parallax for now, and then we'll change it to tessellation in a bit, but for now parallax will do. Now, we've got the generic shapes that we're after. So let's go and try and generate the thing that's going to be generating these shapes. I'm trying to remember if I can do this. Theoretically, it shouldn't be too difficult, but it's going to be. Let's face it, there's going to be problems with this. But let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. We can start with the tile sampler. It's probably the best way to go about this. If we get it to be 2, 4, 6... Let's get 8. No, you know what? Let's go 6 by 6. Set this to be 1. And set it to pattern. And then we can plug the results of all this stuff into this. Theoretically, we should be able to control the grayscale randomness of this, and it should give us a pretty cool effect, but it probably won't work the way I want it to. Color random. So as an example, if I plug that in now, so it's heading in the direction of what we're after. So if I change this to tessellation, I set this to like 20 or something big. So we're already kind of in the playing field. We have to obviously adjust heights and stuff, but we're in the playing field of what we're after. At the moment, all the gaps are set to black, so they're all the way back. We don't want that. So we're going to use the levels and adjust that. This just controls how strong the black is and how strong the white is. We want the black to be drastically reduced, so it's just behind the white. Obviously that still looks really janky and gross because my tessellation factor is low. I can't make it too high though because my computer might melt. It's kind of handy actually. See the way we get these kind of lines created on the sides because of the tessellation. The actual model has lines on the sides, so it's kind of a nice little nod. But yeah, I'm going to make the bars thicker because they don't really carry across well on this. Let's go quickly do that now. I should be able to do that pretty quickly by just adjusting the transform on this. If I pull this down. No, of course it didn't work. Why would it have worked? That would have made sense. Oh, it's because the stupid... Right, my biggest pet peeve for Substance Designer is this transformation tool. This pivot here doesn't seem to make a damn bit of difference when it comes to scaling. I also can't pan up. There you go. Come on. I think my middle mouse is going on this bloody one as well. Yeah, so if I move that to like here, sorry. If I move the pivot to like here and I start scaling, it still scales from the same point that it was originally. Which is frustrating to say the least. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, something like that is kind of the goal we're heading towards. It's just going to take a while to clean it up. But I think as a proof of concept, it's heading in an okay direction. We'll be able to do this in the time we've got because it's just going to be relatively simple. But it's just, I think it's just an interesting thing to do. So let's have a look and see what we can do with this, shall we? So yeah, like I said, I want to adjust the shapes I've got going on here. So we're going to start by shrinking this transform down to a size that looks better. Something like that, and then that's kind of the frame distance. So let's go get that adjustment in there. You see, that's supposed to be scaling from that central point. It's just not. Anywho, there's a side one. Let's just see how these are looking stacked up. Alright, let's go and adjust this. So how's everyone doing today anyway? Are you all well? I've been enjoying, I actually went outside today for a little bit, which was nice. And then I enjoyed some lovely PlayStation action. Got my first platinum on the PS5. It's always a good feeling. Because the lovely wife got one and I couldn't let her just hog all the limelight, could I? I had to get one too. And it was great. That Astro Bot game is fantastic. It's a genuinely great little platformer. Like, if it's almost like they hired somebody from Nintendo to make it, because it's a really nice platformer that feels very Nintendo-y at times, which isn't a bad thing. And it's even got like similar characters and stuff, so I don't know how they've, I basically don't know how they've got away with it. But yeah, it looks awesome. It plays awesome, and the controls, the new DualSense, it feels amazing to use. Like really good. It's got like localized vibrations and things, so like things like the triggers also have their own individual reaction, like feeling. So when you're firing a gun, for example, you feel the recoil, the pull on the weapon as you fire it. It's an odd thing to describe, but it feels really cool to play. And the triggers have got like this adaptive sense to them, so that as you're using them, it gets progressively harder to press it. So for example, one of the things the Astrobot can do is use like a rocket ship, and when you're pulling the trigger for the engines, it's harder to do, and then once it finally kicks in, it gets looser and you fly off, and it gives that really good sense of tension, like in a catapult, you know, that you'd have if you pull it back and then you've got to sort of shake a bit and release. It's got that kind of feel to it, which is really nice indeed. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else makes use of that stuff, because it doesn't feel gimmicky. It just feels, it feels right, you know. It feels like a good use of the technology. Right, where are we here? Okay, that's looking better. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Obviously, we're still looking crappy for the tessellation side of things, but we're not going to get much better, to be honest, because my computer can't handle that. So if you can just look past the tessellation artifacts, I mean, we can slightly blur it, but it'll be minuscule difference. But let's do it anyway. Blur, HQ grayscale. Set this to sweet bugger all, and then we can work it up slightly. Max quality, why not? Let's splash out. Right, so just the splishy splashiest of blurs. Such small shapes, it has a massive effect, but it helps with the tessellation issue. It's just not great for everything else. Oh man, I'm thirsty today. Okay, hour and a half, folks. 1.5 hours left. Again, that's gone really quickly. So yeah, the blurring should help for stuff like the sides, but then the problem is you lose things like the bevel. Ooh. That's an interesting shape, isn't it? I quite like that. I might use that for something in the future. Okay, let's try 0.1. We're starting to get an effect. 0.2. Okay, so now we've got a problem because we're losing the edge up here. Can't be having that, can we? That strength is still really strong. Now, I've got the height quite high on the tessellation to get the blocks to come out so far. So that means that even though I've only got a really small range on the black and white for the window pieces, it's having quite an extreme effect. So let's go and adjust that. Yeah, see, these are already not that extreme, but like I said, the values are being adjusted because they're being pushed from the other thing. So let's just make this real close. There you go, that kind of cleans it up quite a bit as well, doesn't it? So it's a bit more what we want. And now we should be able to isolate parts to get certain roughnesses and things in there. Excuse me, sorry. I've got a... My goodness, what's going on tonight? That risotto has killed me. I'm so sleepy now. It's like I just turned off a switch in my head. It's like, you are sleepy. Boom. My brain went, yep, sleepy. I should have got a coffee before starting this, I just didn't. I meant to get one. For some reason I came up with a glass of water. And I was supposed to come up with a glass of water and a coffee. And alas, this dum-dum forgot the coffee bit. Which isn't useful, because then you don't have any. And I like to have some. Right, so let's go to roughness. There's not much we can do with the shape. We're going to try and sell what we've got with the roughness. Now, we're going to have this problem a lot where the height information's adjusted for certain parts of this because of the fact that we've got colour variants on. So to fix that, we could multiply the shapes back on top, I think. Actually, no, we're not. We'll leave it as it is. We'll fake it a bit with some ambient occlusion later. But for now, yeah, I want to get some roughness separation between the glass and the wood. As you can see, the glass is fully reflective. Like, not rough at all, really. We'll give it a tiny bit of roughness, but hardly any. Did you just order water? No, I ordered a coffee if there's one going. I've got a water. But I would appreciate a coffee, please. If you're making one. If you're not, that's fine. But, you know, risotto ain't made itself. Just saying. Yeah, I meant to make a coffee and underwater when it came up, and I only made the water part and just straight up forgot the coffee. Which is annoying as heck. Pardon my French. Would I appreciate booze? I guess I would. I guess I would. I'm sleepy, so I'm thinking the coffee would help, but so might the booze. I don't know. Whatever you think. Thank you. Right, so we want to get roughness. Let's get a uniform colour in here. We're going to set it close to black, but not black. So 0.2, maybe 0.1. That's something like that will do for now. Going to get a blend. Or a blend, if you typed it wrong. And then we're going to get this. This is going to be like the wooden frame colour. Sort of 0.6, 0.5, somewhere around there. That's okay for now. We can always adjust it. And then a mask. For the mask, we're going to try and pull out the information. But first things first, I'm going to grab this and duplicate it. And I'm going to have a non-color random mode so that it's got just the black and white sections. And that way I can pull out the parts that I want without the worry of, you know, messing with everything else. I'm also going to feed it straight from the blend, not from the levels. That way I've got the mask rather than having the very close to each other color range. Now I could have ran that through an auto levels to bounce it back, but there's no point doing that. I can just use this. Now the question is, how do I just grab the frames and the glass separately? Well, the way we can do that, we can create two of these, and then we can adjust the pattern that goes into it. So we can make one of them just have the pattern of the original glass, which is this one. So now this has no frames. See, no frames going on. And then we can use something like that to control this one. And this is just the frames. So we can actually... Oh, hello, delivery. Eddie. That one. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry folks, just a second. Barman on the job. Thanks, beautiful. much appreciated. Alright, so my coffee has become a beer, and that's fine. It's a nice beer. Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, what I was saying. So we've got the glass separated into its own thing. Now we could make things a bit confusing by just making one that has just the frames in it. But to be quicker and easier, and that's what we need for this, we're going to again duplicate our tile sampler. And I'm going to... What was I about to do? I had a clever idea in mind. It's just gone completely out of my head. Oh, it's gone completely out of my head. Oh, right, yeah, that was it. Okay. I'm just going to grab this shape. A shape. It's just going to be a square. And I'm going to duplicate the transform that this is using. And just plug the square into it. So it's just a solid white. And now if I plug that into here, that'll give me just... Come on. That'll give me just a solid white mask. So then if I use that... We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Trust me. This is going somewhere. If I get that, I can then plug it into here. If it'll ever work. There we go. And then if I subtract it, I get just the frames. See, nice and quick. That was a lot easier than what would have been duplicating this, removing all the middle parts. It's not exactly difficult, but it's just a bit more tedium. This way should be a little bit quicker. So let me get some more booths. Alright, so that's that separation done. So now we can grab the glass information which we wanted. Which was this part. It really is being slow today, jeez. Okay, and that's the mask we're going to plug into here. So that's already left us with the frames and the inner frames and the outer frames. Oh, want to be famous by followers. Okay, let's just block that. Bye-bye. Okay, yeah, so we've got the frames and inner frames and outer frames separated now. So to do that... Wait, no, we haven't got them separated yet. We're going to get them separated. So to do that, I'm just going to grab this mask actually. This is just going to control what the glass is. No, it's not. Yeah, for now I'm just going to use this to control the glass itself, and then we'll use the other one for the separate frames in a minute. Brain just shut down then. Scary. Right, so we've got shiny windows. Ooh, shiny. Shiny. Windows there, and then we're going to get the frames as separate things. Now, to be fair, the frames could be the same roughness between them, but I kind of want them to be separate so I can color them separately as well. And that should be easy enough if we just get this. If we invert this result, and then subtract it from that, that should give us just the inside frames. So let's do that, shall we? Invert grayscale, there it is. Plug that in there. Why is this being so exceptionally slow today? I'm sorry, folks. Hopefully I'm not dropping frames and stuff. But it's really going super slow. Alright, subtract that from there. There we go. Now we've just got the inside frames. Which, thinking about it, is the same thing as this top one. Oh god, alright. Let me just try something a second. Okay, that's what I wanted. I knew there was a plan in there somewhere, up in the dome. And that's just the outside frames. That was handy. Okay, so we've got inside frames, we've got outside frames, and we've got just the glass. So there's the glass. And now we're going to add the... We've got the frame color here already. So let's make the inside frame color. So we're going to use pretty much the same one, but a little bit rough, a little less rough. Just to give some variance. And you're never going to see this anyway, but it's how it is on this reference. That's this one. There you go, and then plug that in. Now obviously we can make adjustments to this as well, give it like, you know, dirty windows or whatever. That might be a pretty cool thing to do. Let me just make some slight adjustments to this. I want to make sure it's rougher so you can see the changes. There we go, that just adds a bit more contrast to it now, makes it stand out and pop a little bit better. An hour 22 left, okay, that's fine, we can carry on with this. So, the question is, what are we going to do with it? Like, it's pretty straightforward. I'd like to have an inside to it, but I don't think we can have that. I'm not sure, we can't really do that with a flat shape. We could do it in game, we could do it, but we can't do it when it's just a material like this. So, what was that? So yeah, let's see, what can we do now? What can we do now? Let's add some roughness variation to the glass. This is the glass up here. Look at that, we're getting more spam today. Man. Okay. Another one down. Yeah, so let's get this. We're going to get a slightly lighter shade, so it's a little bit rougher, and then we're going to introduce some roughness to the glass itself. Now it'll look all uniform at first, but then we're going to break it up with a directional warp based on the grid of colours. So the way we can do that, actually, a quick way of doing that is if we get this grid that we made up here, we can use a fluid fill node. I'm actually going to do it to this. Where is it? Yeah, I'm going to do it to this one because this one has more... Wait, am I? No, we'll stick with the solar panels. Yeah, do this one. So if I do a fluid fill there, and then I choose fluid fill to random grayscale. What this will do is give me a random grayscale value per box, and then I can use that to control a directional warp on the grunge. Uh-oh, lockdown hairdressing. Well, hopefully, if it's anything, hopefully it's nothing too bad, but if it is, I'll see if I can fix it after the stream for you. Let's see how we get on, shall we? Right, so we want like streaky window type situation. There's a moisture noise. Oh, there's a grunge map. Moisture noise might be good, but at the same time, it might be the wrong thing we're looking for. Now, we want this to be really tiled, which is going to take it a second to figure out. I also don't like how varied that is, so I'm just going to adjust it a little bit. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to tape it back on. Is that not how you fix haircuts? I mean, it didn't work for me, but it might work for you. I actually don't like that so much. So yeah, let's just plug in a directional warp. That's the bad boy that we're after. Not ridiculously short like some people have it, just so we're good. Okay, fair enough. Well, at least you've not proper bolted up. And the good news is hair, for most people, always just grows back, so it'll be fine. Alright, so yeah, because we're plugged into a directional warp, this normal kind of pattern here gets adjusted and tilted and twisted slightly to rotate it even better. And if I really bump up the direction, they get quite different from each other. And this is just handy for making this kind of noise that you don't want to be uniform across everything. So if I plug that into here now, I said now, You see we've got a little bit of, just a little subtle bit of variety on the windows. Just something there, which looks alright. I'm happy with that. Now let's see, what can we actually do? This is such a simple shape that I'm struggling to see what we can do with it, and I don't want to do too much with it because it's kind of limited. What we might try and do is the kind of effect we've got up the top here, where it's like, it's almost like blinds or something, and there's a little shadow in the box. We can try and do that for all of them, I think, because we can't force a room projection or anything like that. So I think base shape wise we're pretty much done. I know it's a really simple shape, but we wanted to keep it simple. We're already almost an hour done. So yeah, let's get on with the colours. We can experiment with that, you see, make it more interesting. Ah. Yeah, there you go. So trim it below next time, then it might curve. Very interesting. It's weird, isn't it, hair? Like, it just... I think it is... It's quite a skill to be a hairdresser. People underestimate the abilities of hairdressers, I think. They just think of them as simple people with simple jobs. And it's far from true. You try cutting your own hair, see how well it goes. I mean, you just did, but you know what I mean. People in general, not you specifically. Right, I'm just going to quickly neaten stuff up, and then we're going to start experimenting with colour. Ooh, colour. Fancy. Everyone's favourite bit. Bless you, wifey. I just heard you sneeze downstairs. Okie dokie, that is aligned quite nicely now. And then we've got our samplers. Cool. Got these moving down here. So our height information, relatively simple today. Save that. And now we're going to get some colour information going on. Let me just see if I can quickly add a little bit of just a bevel or something to the edge of this to fight the jaggedness. Yes, it just kind of stops, doesn't it? If I remove that bevel and use a non-uniform blur on the smaller shapes, that might actually help. Let me just try that a second. So I'll keep the bevel so it doesn't completely break it. Then I'll attempt a non-uniform blur on the edge pieces, which isn't going to work well because it's so small. But I can't... I want to bump the resolution up on this, but I can't because my computer can't handle a 4K texture. It's a really old computer now. So I'm going to have to deal with 2K, and there's nowhere near enough resolution for something this fine. But we're going to try, haven't we? We've just got to try. So if I get just these pieces... Oh, it's not going to work, is it? Alright, never mind. Let's stick with the bevel for now. Stick with the bevel. Okay. Bevel done. So let's get some colour in. Like I said, we're going to get a black frame in first, I think. This is the roughness variation. Let's get this out of the way. Get the colour information up here. Actually, first thing we should do is try and establish this inside box shape kind of colour thing going on. So to do that, we can grab the boxes that are here. Where is it? This one. So this is what's behind the bars. What's within the frame and behind the bars. So we can use that as the frame for this. So we basically want this kind of colour. And then like a shadow on the top of it. So if we get that, we get this. Make it slightly darker, slightly less saturated. So it's not loads different, but it's enough different. Plug that in there, and then we can use a... well, first of all, let's just mask it off. Yeah, I'm jumping ahead here. Set this to be the frame color, so we'll make this black. Pretty much. So we're starting to get some life going with this. Those frames are actually going to be more of a silver. Actually, yeah, they're kind of like a silvery metallic colour, so we'll change that in a second, but this is the colour I want for the inside frame, so I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to put this here, get this, put that in. Nope, put that there, put that there. Grab the inside frame colours, which is this one, I believe. Yeah, without that. Okay, grab that, put it all the way over here. There you go. So now our inside frames have got colour. That's good. That's what we're looking for. So let's change this one now to the silver kind of colour, which is white like this. And then we're going to feed that into the metallic. Now this is going to look a bit weird, but we'll fix it in a second. So I actually read that as wood originally for some reason, but then now I've realised it's like aluminium. So we're going to set this to white. Give it a blend. That's not metal, that is metal. And then we'll swap them around so it's top to bottom. And then we'll get the mask that we used here. And we'll put it over here. So that way the frame is metallic. Wait, no, I got them wrong way around, didn't I? Oh, wait a second. That's the... Yeah, sorry, I want the inversion of that mask. So if I just invert this. 1 hour 10 people, we've got 1 hour and 10 minutes left. We're probably not going to use it all today, to be honest, which is good. We like making it shorter. Alright, so that's now metallic metal on there. Looks like I said, it's pretty rough. We want it fairly rough actually. That's not bad. But it's probably too rough at the moment, so let's go and reduce the roughness of that part. So that's our glass roughness. This is our inner frame roughness. This is our outer frame roughness. So out of interest, no roughness, it's chrome because it's metal. So let's introduce some roughness to it. So it's still readable as metal, but not super shiny. Okay, that's still too shiny. Let's keep doing it a bit more. We're getting closer. Okay, somewhere in this region. I quite like that. It still gives a little bit of metallic light to it, but not too much. And we can always add some variation to the roughness in a bit as well, but for now, that'll do for that part. Now, we've got a frame colour in there, we've got the glass colour. So let's go and try and force some perspective on the glass. So then we can play with other stuff from there. So this is the frame's colour. Leave that there. This is the glass. Let's go bring it over here so we can have a play. So this is what I was going to do before. Get HSL. Feed that colour in there, and then we're going to feed this into there, and we're going to tell this to be slightly darker, slightly more saturated, slightly less saturated, because this would be like the shadow that we're trying to get. And then what we want to do is get this and then add a shadow to that. So let's get a shadow node. So we actually want to invert that. And there we go. Okay, so that's the kind of effect that we want to achieve. Something along those lines. So if we plug this in now, actually if we invert that again. So now that's a mask. Oops. Now that's a mask for this. So then we've got that kind of situation. So if we plug that in now, if you look at this, it should start to give us an illusion of depth. Which it doesn't yet, but it will do. So at the moment, it's not strong enough. We're starting to get a little bit of an illusion going on now, but the distance is too far. We'll just sharpen it up a bit as well. It's kind of annoying that edge softness isn't actually edge softness, it's more like an asymmetrical thing going on. Don't like that. Right, so what we can do is we can actually give the top a stronger shadow on its own. Let's try that a second. Okay, get this. I'll blend these together. Because if the top is a deeper piece than the side, why that would be the case, I don't know, but it just might look better. No, I don't think it should do that. It's all or nothing, baby. So let's get ourselves a little histogram scan and tighten this up. Histogram scan, please. There we go. So that's standard. Let's sharpen it up. Right, shall we see if we can maybe fake some lights? Maybe fake some light glow to some of these? What do you think? I don't think we should actually, but let's give it a try. Just to see what happens. Because, I'm not going to lie, I feel like it's pretty much as far as it's going to go with this. This isn't a very particularly good one to do, but it's simple enough. It's definitely within the time frame. But yeah, let's just very quickly try an emissive, and then I'm going to call it, I think. I did have a different idea in mind for architecture, but then I noticed tomorrow's prompt, and I'm going to use that idea for tomorrow's, I think, so that's why I didn't do it tonight. But you'll see what it is tomorrow if I decide to do it or not. So let's make an output node. I'm going to make our emissive. Sometimes it's just too quick. Hardy, hardy, hardy. Yeah, well, you know, it's the power of being a professional. Alright, emissive. You're just jealous because I'm going to steal the PlayStation. Okay, we're going to add an emissive map here. So change diffuse to emissive, and then we can use that to create our glow material, which we're going to do using this, like we did before. Now I can actually use this as well because the bars. Ooh, more Overwatch time. Cool. Yeah, so the bars are going to be over the top of this, so we don't need to worry about that. So, as an example, if I get a color like a color, let's just use a uniform color. And I grab whatever color that light is. That. Now if I get a blend node, plug this into here, and then I use this to control the strength of that. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll get a uniform color of black, put that at the bottom. And then I can use this as that, and then it'll give me emissive. If I refresh this, you see at the moment it's way too strong, which is fine. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get the results of this. We're going to blend. We're going to take parts of it out. So I'll just quickly sort this out a second. Bear with me. Put that there. I'm going to use this. No, I'm going to use the inversion of this and subtract it. I'm also going to use this. Actually, I blended these two together, didn't I, at some point, I think. Anyway, that's the mask. And we can control the strength of that with this. But I actually don't like how often there's colour variation in that, so let me just quickly go and adjust that. I'm going to make that full a second so I can see the difference. And if we get a histogram select, I think it is. Put that there. Basically control how much of the histogram you're using. So if I just get a little bit. Set the range low. Set the contrast high. Just pick a few of these. I just want a nice little range of these windows, but not loads. So maybe something like that. So we use that as part of the mask. This is getting complex all of a sudden, isn't it? Plug that in there. Subtract, yep. And multiply, sorry. And then on top of that, so many blends, my brain's just so confused. Okay, and subtract that from there. Okay, so that just trims the edges off those pieces, then plug that in there. Okay, now we've just got some with a light on. I'm going to adjust the colour of this. I'm going to change the strength of the emissive as well so that you can actually see it glow. Whoa, too strong. And I don't like that whatsoever, but that's how it is sometimes. Now, what I can do to try and help with this a little bit is I can try and use a little blur on this part. Okay, let me just quickly try and do this. So many nodes. Sorry. Alright, non-uniform blur. There we go. Plug you in there. Wait, non-uniform blur grayscale. There it is. Plug you in there. There we are. Hopefully that should just look a little bit better, but overall it still looks rubbish, but we haven't took out the frames yet, so it's going to look a bit weird. So we need to add yet another frame, yet another node. So I had to call it November, folks. Right, then we're going to grab the frames from the insides, so this one. Why is that great? Oh wait. Actually, I'm going to plug that in there. I'm going to give this just a black. Same one as that. I'm also going to use a histogram scan. Scan, I said. Because I want more contrast in this. See, so now we've actually got the bars solidly in front of it. That should be a bit nicer. There we go, there's something there at least. Alright, so let's just try and quickly make a couple of very quick adjustments and then we can call this, because it's just... that doesn't look good at all, does it? That's really not looking good. Oh, wait a second. Instead of using this uniform, I can use a gradient. I'll plug in the grayscale values I was using to control it. These ones. I can give them a range between the yellows. So give it the same colour, then I'm going to darken one of them. I'm just going to desaturate that as well and lower the value. Okay, something like that. That should give us a bit more variety. You're liking the 80s music? Thank you. Yeah, I like this. It's a synth. It's my Stream Beats synthwave playlist. I like a bit of synthwave these days. Right, there we go. So I don't like how that looks though. It's too yellow. Let's be more orange. Something like that looks a bit better. Still not great, but it'll do for now. So leave it like that. Honestly, there's not much more we can do with this. It's really limited in what we've got abilities to do with it. So I might just leave it there. What do you think? Looks kind of cool from the back. Finished. Okay, cool. Yeah, alright. I'm going to call that finished for now then. It's a really simple one. It doesn't look great, but we're limited in what we can do. I also can't go to a higher resolution on my computer, so we're getting kind of jagged looks. But it'll do for now. So let's go full screen on this bad boy. I may start chugging because it doesn't like it. But that's the result of today's stream. It's alright. You know, if this was something in class, I'd get a sticker that says, I tried. And that's what matters sometimes. Sometimes the fact that you just put in an hour or two that day means that you tried. And that's how it is. So let's move to the main screen. Let's get ourselves a cheeky little tick. I think it deserves one. Even though it's not best, it gets a little tick. So 3, 2, 1. Skaboom. Yes, architecture is done. Yay, I got a goal sticker. That'll do nicely. So yeah, that's it for today. So what's tomorrow's? Tomorrow is City. I've got an idea in mind. I've not actually looked at it yet, but I've got an idea. So thanks a lot for watching, folks. What day is it tomorrow? Sunday. I think I'm on tomorrow. Yeah. I'll hopefully see you folks tomorrow. Have a lovely Saturday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye now.